lights go green, we go racing, and very nearly contact straight away as the Garage 59 McLaren got the right squeeze there going up towards turn 1. Bit of a wobble from Mapelli, others go deep into the corner. Mapelli is off the road. Look back, you can see there number 99 of Alex Arca wriggling round in the background. They've made it through safely, although one or two, I think Hugo Cook in particular, are a bit delayed. Alessio Rivera leads, Marco Mapelli second. This is Toby Sowery's view, and John, it's very, very crowded ahead of him.
They're very pinched into turn 4. Again, watching that. There we are, run off on the outside, so everybody just trying to thread their way through there as cleanly and safely as possible. But a great start by the Ferrari to get ahead of the pulled-sitting Lamborghini. And all through the field, I mean, little snaps of oversteer. You can see the BMW. I mean, that's just a consequence of sitting in the grid and the track temperature dropping down.
On cold tyres, a sideways BMW is here up the inside of Guven's Porsche. Goes Alex Arca for third place. He goes by, so Alex Arca third. Heinz Guven down to fourth. And in fifth place, Loris Spinelli as they turn their way through the hairpin. Daniel Morad gets run out wide and past him. Goes Augusto Farfus, so the Mercedes, sorry, not the Morad car, it's the Gounon Mercedes, the second of the yellow perils. So Daniel Morad a little bit further up the road. It was Jules Gounon being roughed up and forced to the outside. The start's being looked at as the cars now accelerate their way through turn 16. The two Retronic Porsches getting together. Maxime Martin off the road in 46 BMW and 3 wide. Can it be done? Just about.
Well, it'll be tight when they get into turn 22 because there ain't room for 3 cars abreast going into that corner. You approach it at high speed, then you've got a big break. There is the entry. You can see the runoff on the outside, and that has been the scene of so many of the track limit abuses. Everybody seems to have made it through relatively clean. We're not getting the full view of those that are going side by side, but you see the 46 BMW, which started way out of its normal position. It's got to battle its way through a lot of traffic before it gets to see clear air. We've got the Porsche 22. There we've got the inside, so Sheldon van der Linden gets it done on the exit. But you're going to have the straight line performance to make it stick. The Aston on the dirtier part of the racetrack, you can see the dust coming off the rear of the car, and that will make braking for the Aston Martin a little bit more tricky. And now Van der Linden pulls over to the right-hand side, and he's got the job done.
And that is Guven. That's the third place Porsche. Heinz Guven has got either a puncture or he's hit the wall and has got damage.
Don't know whatever it is, but that's a tyre. Right rear has gone down, whether it's been, again, contact. You can see it's almost coming. Now, we never found out what was the problem with the Lamborghini we saw a minute or two ago. And again, that was a right rear on the Lamborghini. So that's a right rear in the Porsche. Is there now an issue developing that the right rears are getting really, really hammered? Guven's got to stay well off to the left of the racetrack to let these cars. And drivers, again, in the driver briefing were advised if they have an issue to stay to the left because access to the racetrack is limited on the outside, but much more available on the inside if you stay to the left. There's another car, the Lamborghini. Now, which one is that?
That's 19 again, I reckon. So
okay, down at turn 13.
Yeah, back out after its pit stop is Mattia Lorena, but with a problem.
Will this see a full course yellow, or will he be able to reset? Is it something that he can do with the cockpit?
And full course yellow is coming. So where are we on? Lap 25, full course yellow.
46
now,
is in.
Yeah, this is where the savvy teams start to try to take advantage of this and roll the dice on the strategy, because pitting now will lose you less time under a very slow full course yellow pace.
And of course, if we then go to a safety car, that will allow the entire field to close back up onto the lead car. So all the hard yards done by Rivera and Marco Mapelli will basically be to nothing. How's this, a BMW going slowly into the pit lane?
That's Sowery, and Toby Sowery's got a problem, hasn't he? Because the car is crawling in, and
he's not even going to make it into the pit lane unless he can contain some of it. He needs to get across that demarcation line because outside assistance, as the 25 Santa Lock Racing Audi, likewise following the decision by WRT to come in early, have done the same thing, but they've done it when the race has gone back to green. There's Toby Sowery, can't move. He can't even get to, nobody can help him. He cannot have any outside assistance at that point. Look at the battle going on. You've got one of the McLarens ahead of the race leader in second place Lamborghini, and this is giving Marco Mapelli a new sort of rush of energy because he now senses he's got an opportunity to put the Ferrari under serious pressure as it's trying to find a way around a car being lapped. So goes to the right as they come down, start, finish straight, gets it. He's got more straight line pace than the Ferrari has. Can he make it stick?
Yes.
So he has done. Yeah, wow, what happened there? And almost contact between the Ferrari and the McLaren entering into turn 1. Well, oh, another right rear. No, it's a left rear. Damage on the racetrack. So a left front, I beg your pardon, on the Lamborghini. So now we've had a left front, right front, right rear. That's contact with the barrier.
Yeah. That's 85. That's Philip Dinas, who's hit the wall. Full course yellow, as you can see.
Yes, immediately.
Yeah.
So that's going to shredding bits of bodywork around the racetrack. And actually, in fairness, he should pull the car off at an access point and not continue around the racetrack and shed more and more parts of the race car, because that isn't going to be repaired. That will go back into the garage. Whoa. Look at the carbon fibre in the middle of the racetrack.
And 998, we think, has got damage at the rear. Dan Harper at the wheel of it. Yeah, he has got damage. A puncture.
It's another puncture, another right rear as well. Oh, my goodness. So let's look at it again. So there you see Dan Harper had to react to the Aston Martin. The Lamborghini didn't manage to react at all. Probably just piled into the back of Dan Harper's BMW, almost on unabated speed.
Now, let's just, before we go back to racing, have a look at what happened for that full course yellow. So, let's have a quick look. Audi comes into shot, and here, nose to tail, one into the back of the other, and the pair, number 8 Ferrari, number 111 Audi, that was down at turn 22, where you've got it kind of comes across you all a bit suddenly, doesn't it? That is a braking zone. You've got high speed, and then you get to that part of the circuit. Here we go at the end of lap number 40. Pull the pin. We're going to go back racing with 4 hours and 17 on the clock, and it is Valentino Rossi who leads the way.
Yes, gets across the start-finish line ahead of Jordan Pepper. No one can overtake until they get past the start-finish line, but here's a run down for Jordan Pepper having a look. And just behind Patrick Niederhauser being quite defensive. Audi was looking like they might be threatening a move, but it was on the wrong part of the racetrack. So here out of turn 3, the run down to turn 4. Valentino, this is where you're going to prove you're a real racing driver in a 4-wheel vehicle.
And he's doing a good job thus far of keeping Jordan Pepper behind him. Patrick Niederhauser runs 3rd, Christopher Hauser 4th, Daniel Morad 5th, Lukas Stolz 6th, Ben Barker in the Mustang is 7th, and Pepper now starting to really attack Valentino Rossi. The BMW driver is under massive pressure right now not to put a wheel wrong, but he is acquitting himself pretty impressively right now. And we're side by side for the lead. It's going to be the grunt out of turn 14 now. BMW just ahead, Jordan Pepper to the inside at 15. And he's through into 16, job done.
And Valentino had a lift out of that because he suddenly found himself with a Lamborghini running around there. So look at the team. Yes, get in there, my son. Normally great straight line performance. Side by side, Niederhauser and the Audi. Well, there wasn't an awful lot of space there for the Audi to thread its way through, but it got through cleanly.
Christopher Hauser at the inside, and behind, look, you've got the Mercedes of Daniel Morad trying to buy into this. There's another battle going on between Stolz and Barker. Morad gets run out wide, but Christopher Hauser up to 3rd. Patrick Niederhauser down to 4th. It feels like a sprint race. Or debris on the racetrack, yeah, and quite a few bits. Where's that coming out of? Turn 3?
Yeah, yes, it is coming out of turn 2 into turn 3, yes.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. So that might end up just needing an interruption. Depends really, I suppose, if A, anybody runs over it and moves it, or B, it's sort of blown away by the side draft of the cars. There is the championship leading Aston Martin, still 17th in the race. Marco Sorensen at the wheel, outside the top 10 for points. So bad news, really, right now.
Again, what's happening here? Chavez goes wide. Now Charles Vert read it, but was on the outside, couldn't do anything. Well, was that off the back? It might have been off the back of the Aston or part of the BMW. So there we see the Mercedes trying to sweep around the outside of the Porsche. That was the guilty party. Can he get it down into turn 27? The Porsche's going to hog the inside line. The Mercedes can't get around the outside, and he's going to make the cut back to try and get the run. Again, off, so he's on the tail of the Porsche. So this is going to be another little battle going up all the way side by side. Porsche, Mercedes, side by side. Mercedes has got, I think, that little bit of extra straight line performance as they come into the braking zone, but will he be able to consolidate it? I'm not quite sure he will, because the Porsche is side by side, and yes.
Let me quickly also catch up on Valentino Rossi has pitted, and so has Daniel Morad as well. So we've had 46 BMW in, we've had number 48 Mercedes in, and that puts number 99 of Christopher Hauser into the race lead. So that's the Mercedes just nipping ahead of the BMW, just to catch up on that. 48 goes ahead of 46, change on the pit stop. So illustrates the importance of good pit work. And all of this for the race lead, effectively, because the Lamborghini, which has made an earlier stop, is going to split the two of them. That's now going to put 48 into the lead of the race, is it not? The BMW up the inside. Didn't quite manage to do that, but yeah, all diving out of the pit lane at the same time. Order shuffles, and when Christopher Hauser pits, then that's going to affect the lead situation as well. Rivera to the outside of Moncini, thinks about the inside, and Moncini in turn is on the back of the Aston. Up the inside goes the Ferrari, gap opened up for him, and Rivera zaps straight through on the inside. Nice pass, nicely done that. Right, this is for second and third. Alex Arca just ahead of Marco Mappelli.
So it really is from here on, as Marco Mappelli got anything to deal with. You can see that the defence coming from Alex Arca staying tight to the wall, the barrier all the way down. He's not going to open it up the inside. So Mappelli's gone wide, and he's going to make the undercut, and he will be on the throttle a little bit sooner than Alex Arca. And is he gaining a little bit? He is gaining on the exit because he's quicker, and that's the penalty that Alex Arca had to pay by going so defensive. So Lamborghini across the line, side by side. Will he be able to get ahead before? Yes, he does, comfortably. And in fact, the McLaren following behind isn't going to be a million miles back either.
So, up the inside line goes Marco Mappelli to take second place. Alex Arca trying to fight back. Nikolai Kiergaard behind is a lap adrift. Charles Weerts wide in, tight out, but Arca gets the drive off the corner slightly better. And now the power of the BMW kicks in.
Yeah, I mean, Weerts has tried the same thing time upon time upon time. This time, has to make a sudden cut back to the left. And this is looking interesting, looking very tasty indeed. Charles Weerts, has he done it? I think yes, he has. He's been patient, he's worked hard, he's found a way to double bluff Alex Arca by thinking, I'm going to go to the right, and Arca went to the right, and then he immediately cut back the undercut. Brilliant job by Charles Weerts.
Absolutely right. That gives him third place then. So he's gone by up into third spot, and Charles Weerts goes by and instantly will start to gap the Audi down into fourth place. And that is out of the race, number 88, the lead of gold, coming to the pit lane, routine stop, and then it won't fire back up again. A massive disappointment as the Audi Sport technicians try to explain to the team what it might be. And a puncture from Porsche.
There's a right rear puncture, a right rear tyre down.
And which Retronic entry is it, 96 or 97? Is it Julian Andlauer at 96? And that's the car out of 7th place then. So Julian Andlauer limps on. We haven't had a puncture for a while, but here's another one that's gone pop. Yep. And so Julian Andlauer near the end of the lap. That's about the one good thing you can offer here. The last pit stop of number 99 Audi, Ricardo Feller's car, is under investigation. So the story for number 99's race might be going from bad to worse, and we're getting a replay here of Maxime Martin going ahead of Ricardo Feller, making short work of him. Yeah,
he didn't wait too long. He knew that if he didn't make the pass quickly, then he would be swamped by the pace of the Audi.
Number 51 Ferrari, Alessandro Pierguidi, a 30-second penalty for track limit offences. So number 51 Ferrari, fighting for the championship, led the race in the first stint, gets a penalty. 30 seconds on the next and final pit stop, and that, I'm afraid, puts the final nail in the whatnot, doesn't it, as far as their championship hopes are concerned. That is an absolute calamity.
And there's an Aston's come to a standstill. Whereabouts?
Going into turn one. Yeah, that's Job van Outert, the car that's had 20 track limit warnings. And this, if it can't move, is going to throw another curveball at us, isn't it? Because it's going to have to neutralise the race.
It is.
It's ground to a halt. It was slow, I thought. We saw it on an onboard coming onto the pit straight, but it didn't pit. It just limped on and has now come to a halt. And that's going to need moving.
Well, that's going to be a full Courcello at least.
So there is the Audi rejoining after its pit stop, and bang, gets a massive whack from the Ferrari.
And that was the silver category leading Audi.
Kirby Powell's being given a big whack.
Who's coming into the pits?
51, Pierguidi.
Okay.
So presumably to give way to Alessio Rivera for the last part of the race. And it has also got this 30-second penalty to serve for the earlier track limit infringement. So even though it's kind of pitting at the right time, it's still going to be a long stop. Look, this is the 30 seconds before anything can be done to the car.
Yeah, that's a third of a lap. Just over, well, just under a third of a lap.
Right, here they come. Speed building. We're away with now 23 minutes to go. An angle blast over the timing line. He leads, others weaving to get the warmth, the temperature into the tyres, the pressure's back up. Pereira needs to be on his toes up the inside line, but it's very hard to get through the traffic. Gets to the outside line there. Goes Vanthor for second place. So there's contact and the Lamborghini gets sideways. Vanthor forces the issue. Look at the damage on the Lamborghini. Vanthor goes through. That's the Lamborghini's championship hopes done and dusted.
Yeah, that was inevitable. Dries Vanthor was going to make a move, but look at the damage to the right rear quarter. And that is disappointment. I think even the engine cover on the back of the Lamborghini looking slightly awry as well. But to have that damage, and the goodness knows if there's any tyre damage to boot, but Dries van Voor saw the opportunity. He was on it straight away, and he knew he had to pounce at the earliest opportunity if he was going to make it ahead of the 163 Lamborghini.
Remember, number 32 BMW can't win the Endurance Championship, but it can win the combined sprint and endurance together for the overall situation. Pereira will be absolutely seething now, and he's coming back at the BMW, gets up the inside. Do unto them as you would have them do unto you, or something along those lines, and he's alongside the BMW. He's on the outside line. Franck Pereira to the inside at 15. He's done it, he's gone back through. Fantastic, well done, Franck Pereira. He's on the absolute ragged edge. The car looks all squirrely. Van Voor on the attack, nose to tail, they come off the corner. Comes up towards the line. Meanwhile, Mauro Engel just sort of waves goodbye to everybody, and he's starting to build that gap once again. All of those back markers between him and second spot. The contact between them has been noted, and again, look, on their toes, coming up to the braking zone on the outside line. There is the Aston.
Look at Dries van Voor. He's got alongside Franck Pereira, and Pereira is going to be boxed in by the Aston Martin. The bodywork still, oh my goodness, it's going nuts here.
And he's still staying ahead, isn't he? Pereira hasn't been unsettled this time. Behind them is Nicky Thiem as well. Just sitting there now, trying to keep out of trouble. Although he's got Pierre Guidi, I think Pierre Guidi's gone by, has he not? Number 51 Ferrari. So Alessandro Pierre Guidi now getting himself up the order. That puts him into 4th place overall. So after a fascinating race, now it looks as though the championship fight is going to be between Aston Martin and Ferrari after all.
So Dries van Voor moving around, looking to see where he can find a gap. They're on board with the Ferrari, beginning to catch. Dries van Voor staying tight to the inside. Look at the speed the Ferrari has coming down to turn 27. Not enough to get alongside, but make the undercut. No space given by Dries van Voor. But the Ferrari and Dries van Voor's having to go defensive. He's immediately gone from the right of the circuit over to the left to preclude what Pierre Guidi might be wanting to do. In the Ferrari, look at the headlights. You can barely make out which of the 4 cars it is we've got ahead of us.
And a big dive up the inside through the traffic there was Pereira. There is Marciello going through as well. So over the line it was Engel from Pereira, then Pierre Guidi, then Van Voor, then Marciello, Haase, and Nicky Thiem is the one that's been shuffled back in the pack. Now Thiem is in 7th place. That's going to give them 60 points. Pierre Guidi is up to 3rd, which is going to give them 70 points. Championship heading Ferrari's way all of a sudden. But now Alessandro Pierre Guidi up into 3rd place. Nicky Thiem is the other big loser because he's got shuffled back to 7th. And a time penalty going to Nicky Thiem of 30 seconds. Can you believe it? He's down in 7th place, and then he gets hit with a 30-second penalty for track limits. Nicky Thiem plus 30 seconds at the end of the race.
Who's written the script for this?
You can't make it up, can you? We are almost then at the end of the race and of the season. And Mauro Engel is going to bring the car out of turn 27, heading up towards the timing line. The checkered flag awaits. History made by winning the first endurance GT3 race in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Mauro Engel, Lucas Au, Daniel Morad win the final race of Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe, powered by AWS Endurance Cup for 2024. They will win the combined championship as well. And Alessandro Pierre Guidi and Alessio Rivera will be Endurance Cup champions as the AF Corsa Ferrari comes across the line to the delight of the team. Let's have a look at the result then. Lucas Au, Danny Morad and Mauro Engel, the race winners by, in the end, 7.9 seconds from Franck Pereira, Marco Mappelli and Jordan Pepper. Alessio Rivera, Davide Rigon and Alessandro Pierre Guidi taking 3rd, and Rivera and Pierre Guidi the title too. Celebrations for the teams, with Alessandro Pierre Guidi seeing a 3rd time that his name will be etched on that trophy. The celebrations for Winward Racing. Lucas Au, Mauro Engel and Daniel Morad as our overall champions. It has been quite a season for Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe, powered by AWS Endurance Cup. Thank you for your company this weekend and all season. Bye-bye.